All right. Hey, everybody. Just waiting on David Lujan, mechanical engineer, who I worked with on this project. Amazing engineer. And I'm excited to answer anybody's questions about the Thaan Grill development, features, all that stuff. So be sure to comment your questions and yeah, we'll chat about them. Make sure. Oh, here's David. Hey, David.
Hey, Toby.
Welcome to live.
Welcome to the internet. Yeah.
Let's see. Coming in hot, literally, with the first question. How quickly do the coals light up? From Jordan. Thank you. I like to use our Thai style, the Thaan Thai style charcoal with the Thaan Grill, and the Thai style charcoal does take a while to get fully lit because it's really dense charcoal. It's an extruded charcoal, so very, very dense, burns without smoke for a very long time, but you want to give it more time before you start cooking with it. Probably about 45 minutes at the upper end to be really safe. But it's nice to use the Thai style charcoal in the Thaan Grill. If you put some fire starters on the charcoal tray inside the grill and you kind of stack the charcoal on top, you can light it right in there. You don't need a charcoal chimney, although a charcoal chimney does speed things up a little bit. Thanks for the question.
Tell me, to follow up on that, what about some of the other charcoals that Thaan offers?
Yeah, we have of course, the Thai style. That's the original charcoal. We started making that back in 2014 when we launched. In the last few years, we've added some additional charcoals. We have a 100% oak large lump charcoal, which is, if you want a little more of that kind of smoky flavor, the lump charcoal burns with more smoke, and it's that really nice smooth oaky flavor smoke. We screen a lot of the charcoal out, so anything under 2 inches and anything over 6 inches doesn't go in the bags, doesn't go in the lump charcoal bags. So we take all the screen charcoal and we mix that with juniper and pecan shell charcoal to make our high desert blend briquettes. And those are like the pillow shaped sort of, Kingsford inspired shape briquettes that many people are familiar with. And that burns with a really nice kind of floral, smooth, beautiful smoke. That one's really nice. So those are the 3 charcoals that we offer, and then we also have fatwood fire starters, which is a natural fire starter made from the heartwood of the pine tree. When a pine tree is harvested, all the resin collects in the stump and can't be used for lumber or really anything else, but makes a fantastic fire starter.
Yep.
Okay, let's see here. Thaan for the Nobel Peace Prize. Thank you. We accept. Let's see. JJ, is there a mechanism to change the distance between the grate and the charcoal tray underneath? No, there's not a mechanism. The charcoal tray brings the charcoal really close to the grilling surface. So it's a pretty intense heat right there at the grilling surface. We do make, we call it the Thaan rack, or the Thaan frame, sorry, and it's a rack system that is above the grill, and that's adjustable. So there's two racks above it, and so you can get one, pretty close or far away. You can, depending on what you want to do, you can cook something low and slow, or do like a reverse sear at the lower temp up above. You can hot hold with the rack system. You can, I like to set veggies up above, and they kind of like collect the flavor of whatever is being cooked. That's a really, really nice method. But yeah, David. So David Lujan, mechanical engineer. Welcome everybody. This is kind of an AMA on the development of the Thaan Grill. I'm Toby Roberts. I'm the founder of Thaan. David Lujan was the mechanical engineer that I worked really closely with for, man, it's been actually a few years that we've been working on this, huh?
Yeah, it started off with a pretty simple concept, and Toby kind of did a rough build, but really gave us the blueprint for what this would look like in the form factor. But we've spent a lot of time in the last few years really refining it and making it what you see today.
Yeah, it was pretty steampunk. when I brought it to you, it was like, welder buddy had helped me put it together, and it weighed like 125 pounds or something. And that was the Thaan Grill. I was wanting to design a grill for my restaurants because we kept literally burning through those Conroe style grills that are sort of ceramic bricks, refractory bricks. Work great, but they would fail in a restaurant after maybe a year or so of use. So I'd started working on that and prototyping it, and felt like functionally we were there, but man, it was nowhere near production ready.
Yeah, we took that primal concept and industrialized it into a product that we can mass produce with high quality and really cool design features. And one big part of the whole design requirement was making sure that it was very durable. The materials that we selected, the manufacturing methods, made this a grill that industrial kitchens can use every day. Every day. It can withstand the heat, it can withstand the the grease, the grime, and still be a very functional grill. So we translated that very industrial, very durable design into the consumer version. It's half the size of our larger version, and a lot better for just tabletop use, portability. It's lighter weight. So yeah, we learned a lot from our first design, which is the large version, which is also available and also amazing. But this one is a little bit more user friendly for transportation or use at your own house, in the backyard, camping trips, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was such a fun process iterating the grill with you, and just like, I do not have that technical background. I was kind of problem solving for my the businesses, and trying to create a really awesome live fire cooking experience. And we had, man, we did a lot of iterations. We did a lot of sampling.
We learned a lot. Yeah. What we thought would be a simple concept and a simple design, we learned a lot about the venting, the airflow, the insulation, the distance between the charcoal and the grill, the charcoal tray that we use that catches all the ash and is easy to dump. So the handles that go in and out on the sides, all these things that we initially didn't design into it, were kind of brought up mid prototyping. Or like, what if we did this? How would be better if we did it this way? So we had the time and we had the flexibility, which really allowed us to make the product the best it could be. We weren't pushed by a tight budget. We weren't pushed by a tight timeline. Really had the flexibility to make this a one-of-a-kind product. So, I feel very honored to be a part of this project, and I feel like it's something that I resonate with. I love cooking for friends and family, and having the opportunity to build something like this with Thaan Charcoal has been a great experience.
Yeah, sure. Itai asked a question here. Toby, if you only cook one thing on the grill forever, what would it be? I might cheat a little bit and say skewers. Can I say skewers? That gives me a lot of flexibility. I mean, I love a good skewer. It could be anything, and the marinade and the tare can be anything, and so there's a infinite variations of the skewer. And but I think if I had to get a little tighter, I honestly love love eggplant grilled. Like charring eggplant over charcoal and then like peeling it and making a dip or like a Thai style salad out of it or anything. I love grilled eggplant, so I would put that. If I was cheating with the skewers answer, I would go with eggplant. What about you, David?
Yeah, so I lived in Hawaii in Maui for about 8 years, and that's where I had my office, my desk, and that's where this product was designed. A lot of it was done in Hawaii. I am in Bend, Oregon now, but to me, the Thaan Grill kind of represents bringing it to a beach party, right? And doing like some Hawaiian style chicken or some Hawaiian style beef ribs with some vegetable sides. So asparagus is great on the grill. But yeah, that's kind of what I would envision: a little beach party and some beef and chicken and veggies.
Nice. We did prototyping on the Thaan Grill, and so I have one at home that I've been using a lot, and I've done whole fish and of course skewers and of course eggplant. But we took it on a boat. My buddy has like a boat share subscription or something, and we took it on a boat and went to this little island that you can only get on by boat in the Columbia River, and there was like a sandy spit that comes off of the tip of the island, and we anchored and walked into this little sand spit, and I just put the grill on the spit, and we just made hot dogs, and my son Tennessee, he made toast, which is actually the clip of it made it to the Kickstarter campaign. But that was like such a fun experience because it was the culmination, right, of this design process, and putting the grill on a boat, like really leaning into that portability and just like having this really amazing experience on a spit in the middle of the Columbia River. It was just like so fun.
To touch on that point, the Thaan Grill to me kind of represents a shift in mindset for cooking. It creates it more of a shared meal. Yes, it is great for doing dinners midweek, but the real reason that we love this grill is it brings people together. So whether it's skewers where you share with people, whether it's oysters or kind of like tacos, this is a platform that can create food to share. And that's one thing I really like about the whole design behind it and the whole intention behind it.
Yeah. John from View to a Grill says, one thing for me, some kind of taco meat over the fire and then use the plancha. That's good. That's kind of like, that's the move right there. And John, I've been watching that move over and over on your YouTube videos. It looks really tasty. That quesadilla that you did on the plancha, you just got like this amazing crust on the quesadilla, and like everything just looks so flavorful. So
that's another point to touch on is the plancha. That brings a different element to the grill.
David, do you want to walk us through the drawings? Do you want to give everybody a little behind the scenes of the design process and some of the like nuts and bolts?
Yeah.
If you share your screen at some point, I'll pop it up.
All right, you should be seeing it now.
Okay, here we go. All right, everybody, this is the design here. And we just noodled on this, right, for just so long. This, again, we did the Thaan Grill XL first, and that was the 31-inch sort of pro version of this, and we learned so much in doing that. Some of the features that I remember like really sort of changing a lot were like the vent system is one thing that I remember changing a lot. The first vent that we did was it was just like one big vent, right?
Yeah.
It was just one like open rectangle. And there were some design flaws with that, and then it would get stuck.
Yeah.
Which is something that always happened with the like traditional Conroe grills. You use them like once, and those little vents are immediately like broken. And I really wanted the vent to be super functional, super dynamic, and give you control. And so from there, we had to change it a couple times, right? What was after that?
Yeah, there was kind of a lot of little details that went into the vent, especially. It's not completely represented in the CAD, but moving to these smaller vents it made for us not have to move the vent completely open. When we had it as one large vent, you'd have to open it almost like 3 inches for it to open. And that only allowed for the air to flow through half of the width of the grill. So adding these kind of smaller rectangular cutouts, it allowed us to have airflow across the whole charcoal bed, and for it to only have to open about 1 inch of travel back and forth. But yeah, that was one little detail that we worked on refining.
I think in between that and this, there was a version where the vent slots were really, there was more slots and they were smaller. And that also was just like, that was like open or closed, right? It was just, there wasn't enough play to like really dial in the flow that you wanted.
It just goes to show that, there was probably 5 designs before the final design. And eventually we could probably kind of show those in a fun way. But, the product development process is such an iterative process. Whether it's learning from prototypes that, didn't work out the way you wanted to, or iterating to make it better, iterating on materials, surface finishes. There's so many little fun, small details that go into it. And I think that's why we really enjoyed the process, is because we continuously made it better, and we saw that vision come to life, closer and closer to what we were dreaming of. And just looking at the aesthetics of this grill, on the Kickstarter page it says the world's most beautiful tabletop grill. And when we started it, the aesthetics were really important to us. We wanted it to look like something to be proud to have it in the kitchen, or proud to have out on your patio table. But a few of the little details, it kind of reminds me of like a mid-century modern kind of style.
Oh, for sure. Or like a lot of people have said like an old car or something, like a race car or something.
Yeah, it kind of has that timeless design to it, with these larger radius corners coming in, the handles which are tucked in. I mean, that detail alone, those handles that tuck into the frame.
Peekaboo, I like to call them.
Essentially unnecessary. Like, you could hold this from the bottom, but because we wanted this to be a premium product that felt good to use and easy to carry, we added that detail, and it has proven to be something that really distinguishes the design and the brand as a whole. Like, we don't take compromise in quality. We use these premium materials. We have premium finishes. So, those little design details translate to quality for us in this product.
Yeah. And what was really important, I think, to both of us was that while pursuing a beautiful form factor, we weren't compromising on the materials and the durability. And we developed those in tandem, designed for like really rigorous use, I think, is what is really important to us. We want people to use it a lot, but also just have a beautiful form factor. JJ asked, will there be multiple colors to choose from once closer to shipping, or will it be orange only? If yes, what are the other colors planned? This is a little sneak peek, but we have a stretch goal That is a mystery colorway, and I am. I want to send out some. I want to send out a poll and see see what you all think. But one of the options is black, and that color has been. Some of our samples are in that color, and it's pretty sleek. I'll show you. I'll show you the black one here. Let me screen share here. How do we do it? Here we go. Screen share. Share screen. Where did you go? Here you go. Do you see it? No. Oh, here we go. So here is the black colorway. Here it is with the frame system.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And the height of those frame racks are adjustable if you want to look closer to the grill grade or you want it further away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see my cursor or not, but up the frame on either side are some holes, some pinholes, and you can adjust where those frames are based on those pinholes. So you can get it pretty close, you can get it way up, so it's just like a resting zone. Pretty flexible. So that is one of the color options that we're looking at. But yeah, we're going to send out a poll when we get closer to the stretch goal of 200,000 in raise, and yeah, we'll offer some options. We'll lock in a second option and go from there. We might have more options beyond that, depending on how well the campaign goes. Let's see here if there's any other question. Dave says, so versatile and clean design. I agree. I think it's beautiful.
It is. I got to give a little shout out. We partnered with an industrial designer in Portland. So, this whole project is straight out of Portland. I lived in Portland last year and worked closely with Toby when we were going through prototyping and testing. The industrial designer lived in Portland, so this is a Portland-born product. It is not called in from anywhere else. But Hudson Rio was the industrial designer that helped us kind of refine some of the aesthetic details. Went through a few different shapes and iterations, but we decided on this, which again had that really kind of clean, mid-century modern, but slightly timeless design to it.
Yeah. He had some other pretty beautiful designs beyond, aside from where we landed. He's so talented. That I remember those first renderings just like blowing my mind, and being really excited to like for that next step where it's like, just felt like it was getting closer to like what I envisioned, even though I never could have envisioned it the way it ended up, like at the beginning, but it just like felt so right. How do you manage flare-ups and super fatty meats from Plupa Squat? I like to move it around. I like to move the food around it because the grill, again, the charcoal is very close to the grill surface. It gets ripping hot. Like you have some control and you can, modify the ventilation to manage the heat a bit, but it definitely can get hot. If you're cooking something super fatty, I move it around a lot. And then we also have these fans, these like charcoal Uchiwa fans, and those can do double duty. They can, increase the airflow and heat things up, but they can also cool things down by like hitting back a flare up. So if you have some flames coming from dripping fats, hit it with the fan and you can knock the flames out, and that can prevent charring the meat or charring whatever you're cooking.
Toby, I'd say too, like a ribeye, very, very prone to flare-ups. Using the plancha on that.
Mm-hmm.
Good crest with no flare-ups.
Yeah, you can
control it a little bit better.
Yeah, I like that move too. And sometimes you can start something really fatty on the plancha and render some of the fat. So like, start a ribeye on the plancha, get some of the like initial rendering done, and then take the plancha off and finish over the charcoal. So you still get that like direct charcoal flavor. That is definitely a good move. Shout out to Michelle at Between the Slices is her Instagram handle. Chef out of Houston. She's amazing. She made these duck breast tacos using the grill and plancha, and that's what she did. She like perfectly crisped and rendered the skin on the plancha, and then finished cooking it directly over the coals and sliced it. And it was like, I never had, start cooking duck start to finish in one go can be kind of tricky, but I never had such perfect duck breast as that. And again, she made tacos with it. They were insane.
Man, I'm getting hungry now.
Yeah. Dave asks, from Food Origins, asks, how did you come up with the handle design? The handle design, I really wanted functional handles so that a professional user could move it around when it was hot. That was like the beginning of it. But I also wanted the handles to go away when they weren't needed, because space in a commercial kitchen and a restaurant kitchen is precious, and the wasted space from handles just like sticking out is just unnecessary, and you want to save as much space as possible. So the idea was, these handles that sort of retracted or folded down when they weren't needed was an important design factor for a restaurant kitchen. And the material itself, it's Bakelite. It's like a wood finish Bakelite, and it's Bakelite because we wanted an inorganic material that wouldn't collect bacteria and whatnot. So wood, I wanted it to look like wood. I wanted that aesthetic feel, but wood itself is not good in a restaurant kitchen either because of the food safety element.
It was a nice contrasting color and material too to the stainless steel and the black or orange. It just kind of made the grill pop and have a quality look to it.
Yeah. I remember the factory or the manufacturer we were working with. They're like, no, we'll do black handles. We'll do black plastic handles. That's what everybody does or whatever.
Right.
And they, like we would say over and over, no, we don't want black plastic handles. We want Bakelite handles. And they'd send us another sample with the black plastic. I loved working with our manufacturing partners. Don't get me wrong. They were really fantastic. But there were certain design choices that we felt strongly about that they may not have fully understood the reasoning behind.
Yep. That balance between, aesthetically pleasing and functional. We went through a lot of different improvements on the handle, making sure that it wasn't too loose or feel too, just make sure it was secure, felt sturdy. It secures to the body of the grill with weld. It's not screwed on. It won't become loose over time. It was something that we really focused on and improved and really got to a point that we felt comfortable with it. And it is a really nice design feature at the end.
For sure. JJ asked, does the vent handle get hot? Is it steel or does it have some silicone cover over it that will need to be replaced over time? That is powder coated mild steel, and it's welded to the vent cover. So it gets a little hot. I would say it's one of the hotter points, just because because of the nature of it being a ventilation point, there's not the same insulation in that section of the grill as in the rest of the grill. But it's not like it's below the charcoal because of where the charcoal tray lands. The bottom of the charcoal tray is above the level of the ventilation. So hot but not dangerous. And then, I'm sorry, let's see, cover over that one. No, it won't need to be replaced over time because it is powder coated steel that's welded on, so it'll be good to go. Let me see if there's other questions, but I want to, eyes like a hot rod, yes. I want to dig into the charcoal tray, which doesn't sound, super exciting, but I think it's one of the most important features of the Thaan Grill is the charcoal tray. Thanks, Katie. Yeah, let's show us the charcoal tray. It's here we go. I'm gonna add.
Yeah, so initially when we designed it, the charcoal is just intended to go on the bottom, the base. And we talked about all right, how can we sweep it up and use a little scoop, or can we create a little opening on the back, maybe a door that you can sweep it through the door and get it out of the grill. And after a while, we're like, that just seems ridiculous. All the grills currently do that, and we have the opportunity to do it better. So we first started with just a grill, a grate like you see here with the perforated holes in it. It was raised above the charcoal, the bottom, and it worked. But then we again thought to ourselves, well, we can make this better, and I'll open this up as a separate part. And we said, well, what if the ash could get caught underneath, and we can easily pick it up with a handle. The ash slides to the back, doesn't come out of the tray, and then you can walk it over to a trash can or walk it over to wherever you want to dump it and dump it out. It was such a novel idea, but because we had the time, we really thought through the entire user experience for this grill. Toby has so much experience in restaurants, has gotten so much feedback that we said this is a pain point and we do want to address it. So we came up with this charcoal tray, is what we call it. We have ventilation around the whole perimeter as well as the bottom. And when we first designed it, it sat flush on the bottom of the grill, but we actually ended up adding these little foot risers to it to get the charcoal closer to the cooking grate, which gave us more of that sear, a little bit higher temperature. It also allowed for better airflow, and it kind of kept the grill a little bit cooler. If you had this directly on the bottom of the grill, some of that heat would kind of transfer through metal to metal contact.
Yeah, on that note, I sent some prototypes out to various places to get testing done and get feedback on the grill. And I sent a grill to Yakitori Guy. Thank you, Yakitori Guy, for putting it through its paces. But he did an event with the team from Ayara Thai down in LA. They did an event outside, and they they put the grill on one of those pop-up plastic tables, and that was a learning experience for us in that the heat transfer, because it was just a flat bottom on the charcoal tray, all that heat went down into the body of the grill and it melted the table, and I was super embarrassed and replaced the table for them. But that, there was a couple pieces of feedback that were coming in about wanting the charcoal closer to the grilling surface, and obviously that safety concern of the body getting too hot. So when we put these legs on, there's much less transfer of heat to the body, and the insulation that we had in the body was able to manage the amount of heat that was coming down, and the charcoal was closer to the grilling surface. So we were kind of solving more problems, or at least a couple problems at once. And then, so that was, one of the iterations was putting those legs on it. And then we also, after that iteration, David added these slots that you see on the sides. And those slots are below the level of the charcoal. So we started to get this really awesome updraft. The ventilation is below the level of those slots, and then the slots are below the charcoal. So we had air coming in a draft from below the charcoal, which really helps. We can get it really ripping hot, or also when you choke off the air, it just gives you a lot of control having the slots and the ventilation in that way.
In this cross-section view, you can kind of see the construction of the grill. We have our insulation on the sides as well as the bottom. And then on the back, we have the insulation as well. On the front, we just have insulation above the vents. So here you can see it on the front and back. But that insulation serves two parts. It kind of creates all the heat inside of the grill to really focus it and get that real good char that these kind of grills are known for. And then it also keeps the external body of the grill safe and cooler. So that was one of the main design requirements. There are other grills on the market that are just a single piece of sheet metal bent up with charcoal in it. And, that gets just as hot as the outside will get just as hot as the inside, which is not very safe for use around family or kids or pets or stuff like that.
We do a lot of events, and all over the place we do events, and we're using the Thaan grills at them, and after learning about melting through that plastic pop-up table, tweaking the design. Now we can run the Thaan Grill all day on, there's these little, very thin plastic table dressings that are really common in events. And we can run the grill on top of this super thin plastic sheet all day, and it doesn't melt the plastic. So we are there as far as the safe operating temperature, which is great. Dave from Food Origin says the tray is heavy and stable. It is. It's beefy material for sure. And he also says that we did a podcast, right? Dave invited me to the Food Origins podcast, and that's coming out Friday. I definitely encourage everybody checking out his podcast, Food Origins. He's had just some amazing guests on his show, and I was really thankful for the invite. We had a great conversation. So that's coming out Friday, and you all should check it out. So no other questions right now from the audience, but what's one of your favorite features of the grill?
I love cooking. I have all the grills. I have the smokers and the barbecues, and this brings people together in a different way. When I'm doing a big meal for tacos or brisket or something like that, I feel like I'm kind of stuck next to the grill or the barbecue and cooking and prepping. I can't really socialize as much. But with this grill, it kind of creates more of a community experience. You pre-prep the skewers, you can pre-prep the food. And you kind of bring it out on a big platter, and everyone can kind of cook their own food, or you can cook it with them and give it to them. And it's not necessarily always a sit-down meal. It's kind of like you can grab it and hang out and have your beverage and hang out and talk. So it can be used again for a quick meal in the evening time on a weekday. But where it really shines is these community meals and bringing people together. And it is aesthetically pleasing as well, because it's a talking point. People are like, wow, what is this grill? It's beautiful. Yeah. Look what kind of food we can make on it. That's delicious. So you're not just buying a grill to replace your little Weber. You're kind of buying an experience. You're buying this new way of cooking and socializing.
Yeah. I love the concept of cooking together rather than cooking for somebody or cooking with them. I love my Weber. I have a Weber. I have all kinds of grills at home, but often they're kind of off in a corner, and you go the grill master's over there doing his thing, and I love bringing it to the table. I love that like my kids can participate in it, and it's kind of a learning opportunity for them to get to cook with us, and it's just a totally different experience. You're literally gathering around the fire at the table and cooking together, and it's a whole different experience.
Yep. You asked what's my favorite part about it. It's the whole concept, what it represents.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we've launched. The launch has been going really well. I'm so happy with the excitement, and the feedback has been really good. Does anybody have any other questions about the design or anything related to the Kickstarter campaign? Any ideas for additional accessories that you all would like to see? One of the main goals for us is to make this as functional and dynamic as possible, and not pigeonhole it to any type of food or cooking style. And part of that is certainly the accessories that we want to offer with it. There's a few that we're working on already. I definitely want to do a fish basket. I think that would be fun. There's some crazier ideas like flambeaus, which if you don't know what a flambeau is, that's okay. It's like I think maybe obviously originally like a French contraption that's like a cone on a metal rod, and you put it in right in the coals and then put a fat in it, and it like the fat ignites and melts, and you drip the fat over your food. That might be like further down on the timeline, but is definitely a fun idea.
Yeah, we've even talked about doing a little like oven cover.
Yeah, I definitely want to work on that. We've got some concept drawings that notepad drawings on that. Certainly people have asked about that, and I think that opens up a lot of
and like you said, we want it to be as dynamic as possible. And you think like, oh, okay, this is great for meat and veggies. It's like, well, we could also do flatbread pizzas on it. Also bake in it. So for a camping, grill, something that's very portable, something it can do it all. It's pretty fun to think what is possible. And I've kind of been pushing for a couple of years that eventually we want to make a cookbook to kind of show some inspiration and what is possible in this grill. But we are looking forward to delivering these to all the Kickstarter backers. We feel very confident in the design. We feel very confident in our manufacturer, who is in the UK. That's not somewhere that a lot of products are made nowadays. And we feel
they've been fantastic to work with. I'm really excited about our partners there. They're just like, they have the same sort of business values as we do around quality and around, conscientious design and manufacturing. So
exactly.
Let's see here. Carrying case. Yes, there is a carrying case. That'll be available. It's on the Kickstarter page as an add-on. So definitely check out the carrying bag. Those will ship in March with the grills. Thank you, David. JJ, do grates somehow secure onto the riser attachment, or do they just rest on the arms? There's like a little pin on kind of the back of the frame, so the grates sort of lock in on that pin. So it's not like clamped down, but it doesn't move back and forth left or right. But if you lift it up, it comes off.
Exactly.
Cleaning accessories in the future. That's a good idea. The ash it's nice because the ash sits in the tray and can come out. But I do find, Dave, that like a little scoop that goes into the tray could be fun. Could be helpful. if the ash is in there and like fat drips on it, sometimes it can be a little tricky. It doesn't just come out. You have to scrape it a little bit. So that could be something to use. Shout out to Mal, who recommended using Pure Calf for cleaning some of the stainless steel. Pure Calf is a espresso machine cleaning solution that removes buildup from stainless steel. So might offer Pure Calf as a cleaning solution, or maybe just point people towards Pure Calf as a good option. Definitely, like great scrapers and things like that, I think would be fantastic. Need a rectangular chimney. JJ, you nailed it. We are. Do you want to share it? You got that anywhere?
I don't have it.
You got to dig for it.
Yeah, I got to dig for it. Be a minute or two.
Yeah.
But about a year ago, we made a relatively large rectangular chimney that fit perfectly on the large grill. It was like half of it. And the idea,
I think I have.
The idea was to have about 12 pieces of charcoal that fit in it with the fire starter underneath. Very, very similar to your traditional fire chimney. We built it. It worked great. We had a few things we wanted to learn about it. I used a relatively thick stainless steel and steel for it, and it turned out to be kind of heavy.
Yeah.
So
this is here it is. This was the prototype. I love it, but it was hard to like. It kind of like hurt your wrist because just with all the charcoal and the metal.
There was a lot of charcoal and it was thick material. Yeah.
But we used the same Bakelite handle. Just the stainless and the Bakelite. This looks really nice. So yeah, I think this fits 9 of our Thai style briquettes vertically. I think the idea would be to shrink it so that it fits 6, and then also eliminate some of the weight by choice of materials, that kind of thing. But yeah, great question.
That was a great segue.
Yeah. JJ, great man. You guys thought of everything. Thank you. Yeah, we've like I said, David and I have been noodling on this for quite a while, so it's been really fun. Love the brand Uni. Thank you very much. Yeah. Shout out to Eleazar from Odd Notion Brand Design. I think I actually saw him joining a minute ago. Hey, Eleazar. They helped us with the rebrand, I want to say in 2001. I couldn't be more happy with the experience and the outcome. And it has really helped define the identity of Thaan and helped us find a direction and like commit to a direction for the brand. So that was a really great experience. Odd Notion, check them out. Awesome. Well, I'll maybe leave a few more seconds for any more questions, but that was super fun. David, I really appreciate you jumping on and doing this with me, and just all the help and support and expertise that you brought to the project.
Yeah, it's been an amazing project. Just seeing the backing we've already got on one day on Kickstarter is such a, I guess, honor to know that our product has been so well received. And if it gets to a certain point, we're going to have different colorways, but all the accessories are amazing. We're always trying to think of new accessories and better ways to improve the grill. But we've put a lot of time and a lot of love into this, and we hope that you guys all love it just as much as we do.
Yeah, agreed. Awesome. Well, thanks everybody for joining and for your support with the campaign and with everything that we're doing over at Thaan. And that was fun. Thanks, David.
Yeah, thank you, Toby. We'll talk later.
All right, bye.
Bye, guys.